Okay, let us get ready to start. Good afternoon, everyone who's on the African continent, and good morning to all our friends from the Americas. We wish to welcome here to our glorious launch of the Africa Journalist with Disability. My name is Rulani Baloy. I will be your host for this afternoon. I am hosting you from South Africa, and I am also a journalist working in the media space. And firstly, I would want us to acknowledge the World Press Freedom Day, which was yesterday. We know that when we mark days like this, these are days of reflection, and also as we welcome Africa Month, as we celebrate the continent, our glorious continent. I wish to welcome you all from wherever you're from. Feel at home. It doesn't matter whether you are East, West, North, or Southern Africa. We are all one continent. We are all one people. We have come together here to launch something big. We have a common purpose. We have a common mandate, and we are all have we all have aspirations, we all have ambitions to see this organization growing. We all have met here, most of us as communicators, as participants in broadcasting in different media spaces, as journalists, and we want to grow this organization to see how inclusive it can be and how inclusive it is going to be. I wish to welcome you all. And all our speakers, when you're speaking, can we please ask you to open your videos so people can be able to see you? And the rest of us who are not speaking, can we please switch off our videos and mute our and mute our and put our gadgets on mute when we start with the program to avoid a lot of interferences. I hope all of you can still hear me nice and clear as I hand over to our
Yeah, we can
lead.
hear you.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Now I'm going to, without speaking more, I'm going to give over to AJWD lead, Yinka Olaito. We just want to say we welcome you. This is your time to give us opening remarks. Thank you.
Thank you, Rolani, and thank you everybody who is here today. I want to especially say thank you to everybody who is here. Thank you for all our invited guests. I can see majority of you inside. I already saw Dr. Sylvia. I already seen Ashley Iyali. I also saw that um, a few of all that president of Nigeria Union of Journalists is already in. I've also seen Ms. Siada Kilobo, the head of secretariat at the National Independent Media Council of Africa. I want to especially welcome all of us and all the team members that make up Sarah Cobley. Thank you. We recognize your presence, and as many that are still here. I just want to say thank you. Rulani said, we are just here to launch this, and I'll just open with small speech, and then we can go ahead and, and do this because it's important. So, distinguished guests, partners, colleagues, and friends, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you're joining us from. For majority of us in Africa, it's good afternoon, and good evening. For some of us in the US who are joining from US, Disability Belong is around 9 o'clock in Virginia, and then for those who are joining from California, is around AM. So we want to say thank you for joining us. Today is not just the launch of an organization, it is the beginning of a movement rooted in dignity, driven by purpose, and committed to ensuring journalists with disability across Africa are not only seen, but heard, respected, and they are empowered. This is a product of years of thinking and collaboration. Um, African Journalists with Disability was born out of a simple but urgent question, which is who tell the story of disability in Africa and how are those stories told? For too long, the narratives around disability have been shaped without the voices of those who live the experience. For too long, talented journalists with disability have been excluded from newsroom, overlooked in opportunities, and underestimated in their capability. We are now here because representation matter. That's the reason, one of the reasons why African journalists with disabilities is established. Because inclusion is not just charity, it is also justice. Because Africa cannot afford to silence a segment of its storytellers at a time when authentic voice is needed more than ever. AJD exists to amplify journalists' disability as professionals, as thought leaders, as agents of change. We are building a platform that bridges media policy, lived experiences, ensuring that disability inclusion is not an afterthought, either in the newsroom or governance or development of Africa or the global south or the global world at large. But a central pillar of this is ethical journalism and development discourse. Our values at the heart of AJWD are three core issues, and this is very important to us. First, we seek dignity. We believe every journalist, regardless of ability, deserves respect, access, and opportunity. Secondly, we believe that we believe uh, we advocate for equity, not just for equal treatment, but for fast access to tools, spaces, platform needed to thrive. Thirdly, authentic storytelling is a core value to us, and it really means a lot. We champion narratives that reflect lived realities, challenges stereotype, influence policy, and public perception. Our goals as African journalists with disability are very simple. We want to build a continental network of journalists with disability across Africa. Presently, we have like 10 or 15 members from across Africa, and our goal is to have at least a minimum of 30 or 45 African countries joining us. Also, we want to provide training and mentorship for a member, resources that strengthen professional capacity, and that has informed the reason why we are building technical partnership with various organizations, universities, both in the global north and the global south. We are also influencing the media institution to adopt inclusive policy and practices. This is some of the goals that we're trying to achieve. We're also keen in shaping public discourse on disability through evidence-based woman-centered journalism. And importantly, we want to create a pathway for leadership where we are ensuring that journalists with disability are not just participants, but decision makers in the media ecosystem. We are not here to fit into a existing system or mode. We are here to transform. That's really important. That is why we need partnership. We cannot do it alone. We cannot do this alone. That is the reason we are calling on media organizations to open their doors, not just symbolically, but structurally. Access to newsroom, access to participation, access to information sharing, inclusion must be reflected in hiring practices, newsroom accessibilities, and editorial priorities. We call on development partners, and we are happy that we have some of them here today. I've seen Mr. Rona Kayanja coming in, is a director with the UN. So we call on development partners and donors to invest in disability inclusive media initiative, not as a side project, but as a strategic priorities. We call on academic institutions, and we're already talking with some of these, both in Nigeria, Africa, and in New York University on some of these things, and training bodies to integrate disability perspective into journalism education and beyond that, into the area of environmental justice law and many other things that are very important. We call on government agencies and policymakers to recognize the role of inclusive media in advancing national development and social justice. Our fellow journalists, whether with or without disability, we invite you to stand with us. This is not a niche issue. This is about the integrity of the profession at large. Let me just close by saying, today as we launch AJD with hope, with courage, and with an unshakable belief in what is possible, we envision an Africa where no journalist is excluded because of disability, where stories are richer because they are diverse, where the media truly reflects society itself. This is our moment. This is our mission. Let us together, let us rise together and let us tell our story our own way. Thank you and welcome everybody.